Hi everybody, welcome to our Take 10 this Friday. First look at summer markets. I'm Deb Barrett coming to you from rainy Chicago, and with me is my design partner in crime, Jackie Von Tobel in hot Vegas, I'm assuming. Hi Jackie.
Well, it's the usual hot factor, but actually we're kind of having a nice little cool and breezy, like maybe 100-degree day versus like 120. So it's all good here. Hi, everybody. We've got some great stuff to show you from all of the various summer markets, right, Deb?
Yep. So we're going to kick it off starting with Vegas because really that's sort of the what you're seeing in Dallas and what you're seeing in Atlanta kind of culminates in Vegas. Plus it's kind of fresh in our minds, right?
Oh, yeah. We had a great time.
Yep. So couple of trends and things that we saw happening is certainly, well, obviously because of the weather and the town, Vegas is quickly becoming the outdoor furniture capital when it comes to home furnishings. And that was, I mean, they had some really great furniture and soft goods and outdoor available, and so we're calling it sort of backyard bash. It's really taken a step up. I mean, we're talking, we know the whole outdoor kitchen kind of thing, but it's really like, look at this looks like indoor furniture, right, on
Oh,
swivels
yeah.
and, you know,
Well, and I think with, all of the advances that have been made in indoor-outdoor fabrics, I mean, now you're seeing basically an upholstered outdoor offering, which is
right,
fully upholstered.
right.
Um,
Now
but
if we could
outdoor
just
living
get
is a
them,
huge category here
and now if we could just
on the
get them to
West
do
Coast.
decent outdoor drapery.
Yes.
But anyway, so as you can see, and it's gone in lots of different directions. It's all about the lounging, the comfort, obviously. But it's taken this sort of, I think West Elm is definitely leading the way, a much more contemporary kind of feel to it. Here you see polyurethane caning, but it has that sort of design within reach. Um, Millennial West End feel to it versus on one end, and then the other is this whole like everything's upholstered and comfy and I want to climb in
Right.
it and fall asleep and kind of thing.
And I think the trend here that the overriding trend is, you used to go out and you'd buy your set of matching outdoor furniture. And now, it's really the outdoor is being viewed as its own room, so to speak.
Hmm.
And so we're seeing more eclectic, um, you know, designs put together with more of a living room feel where people are actually living and using the outdoor space more.
Yep, absolutely. And one thing we wanted to bring to your attention too is the amount of outdoor lighting. Finally, the lighting industry has gotten on it, and particularly because of LEDs. These happen to be, this armed. These are portable. They're cordless, wireless LED lanterns. There was some really great lighting that you can use in those rooms. And then, of course, on the rug market, this is actually Jaipur. They introduced a new indoor-outdoor collection that was really wonderful. They're using recycled plastic bottles, the PETs, but it felt like it has a softer hand. It felt like, and I don't even want to say acrylic, more cottony, wouldn't you
Yes,
say?
yes. And then they had one version that felt like a sisal.
Yeah,
That
I
was
mean,
really
right.
cool.
This one version is like it looks like a sisal rug. It's great, or a jute,
But
but it's
soft.
indoor outdoor. It was really awesome.
Yeah.
So they really ran the gamut, and all the rug manufacturers were really doing some interesting things in indoor outdoor. The second look was sort of like black and white. We're out of gray for sure. I know your clients are maybe still asking for it, but the gray palette is dead and gone. Interesting things happening in blacks and whites. Basically, the story here is drama, a little bit more masculine, Baroque kind of feel to things, but then with sort of this interesting, in some cases whimsical, in some cases uh, edgy, if you will, look. So this is actually a lucite chair, and if you look really closely, those little, what you think is like a ditzy print, those are actually skulls. So interesting things happening in black and white. This actually was their trend display, the whole sunburst mirror type of thing, but again in blacks. This is a Tebow wallpaper. So again, as Jackie said, this sort of eclectic mix. So you've got a traditional wall covering with contemporary. You've got some kind of cheeky, this cheeky chair here with the lamb and the Mongolian. It was sophisticated and fun.
Yeah, and Tebow at last High Point Market, they were really highlighting black and whites and neutrals, which was such
Absolutely.
a different way for them to show their showroom.
And then we thought that this is an interesting chair, not only from the base, but now seeing that these sort of small-scale club chairs are doing cutouts or wraps and three-dimensional looks. And then this is a white lacquered console with an interesting X base that's available in different finishes from Star Furniture. And on the black side, so much in accessories and giftware and tabletop in this matte black, kind of, I'm sure, inspired by, typical black Wedgwood. On the left, keeping in mind that, gift and home gift and accessories is a major part of Vegas market. On the right, this is Bliss Studio. And again, when you see Bliss Studio, typically you think of this sort of soft, ethereal, Frenchy, chic, chippy paint, washed looks. And this market, they came out with a line of pillows, and these are two of them that kind of really set their showroom. It did it at 180.
Yeah.
I had to put this in because this is a hair-on hide hexagon rug overdyed in black and white. It was pretty beautiful. And again, mixing the black and white, but with the pop of color. Certainly the yellow or even that citron and gold is a color to sort of be reckoned with. This was one of the windows in Savia.
And the super dark indigo blue as a black alternate was a big deal as well.
Absolutely.
Like almost black, but just blue black.
So then it's sort of like into the woods. Whether it's a wood finish, what you can do with parquetry and carving and rustic and, surfaces with wood. Wood is really kind of becoming a whole trend upon itself versus, a category. This is from Mercana Art in this limed oak and then this wonderful sort of pieced it's not really parquetry because it actually has dimension. This piece in this diamond in the center. And then I just want to point out the wall art because if you've been with us before, you know that we spotted dark Tropicalia and Tropicalia at High Point in October as a big trend, and it's moving forward in different looks.
Oh, yeah. And, the limed oak finish really is coming on strong now.
Yep.
Pickle pond, all of that.
And look at, these pieced and angles and grooves and routed details and stuff. So it's really adding a lot more detail to that sort of mid-century furniture and furnishings too. So kind of calling it earthy but edgy. Again, this idea of the sunburst mirror but done in wood. This is Four Hands' new table that they introduced. These are candle holders, different wood varieties. This is from Bramble & Company. This is a bar, so this piece comes down almost like a secretary scenario. It's a bar serving table.
And that's quite a departure for Bramble.
That is not, right? Exactly.
That looks like they're going in a whole new direction there. I mean, if you're familiar with their company, turned wood and bright colors and painted finishes.
Yep. And then this is actually Curry & Company. They opened a brand new showroom, and they always do amazing stuff. And this was their display, again, showing, I think they believe in the importance of what is happening in wood, and I love these arched doors. The other reason I put them in and I took the shot was the arch is being stained glass, and that's another trend that we've spotted in the past, and we saw it in Milan, and now it's moving into a bit more mainstream. But look for stained glass and stained glass fronts on cabinetry and things moving in as we get into 2017.
Well, and I also saw this as kind of a real statement on their part that, you know, the Baroque is coming back. I mean,
Absolutely.
look at the chairs. You know, and nobody can be happier than you and I, Deb.
Yeah, maximalists that we are. We're happy.
But yeah, that's quite a different look for them.
Yeah, I thought so too. So this is Sign Design. This is what they call their tea chair. So it's kind of ombre, but it's sort of all about novelty, kitschy, kind of themey stuff. And again, partially because it's a strong gift market, and you know, as Dallas and Atlanta are, but it's moving into home textiles and obviously into wall art. So just kind of wanted to address that. You know, you've got your sort of like funky animal icon, you know, tableware, gifts, accessories. That's where you're going to see that kind of theme thing. This is a piece of wall art where they've done over printing, illustration over text. So it's kind of becoming a bit more sophisticated novelty, if there's such a thing as that.
Well, it's not the typical, you know, what we've seen for so many years now, the antique grade. It's more graphic. The colors, you know, are brighter. It's still referencing and in lots of cases using you know, antique prints and images and stuff. If you look, I don't think we have a slide of Mitchell Black, but we showed them in our last market recap. And they're doing it really great with bright colors and then mixing it with contemporary framing. And so it's a nice sort of melange of those two things.
Exactly, exactly. And this is just a testament to what digital printing, where we're moving because of the technology.
Absolutely. Anything is possible now.
Right.
We'll show you some of that coming up.
Kate Spade, rug on the right, some soft goods, different kind of pillows, again, kind of kitschy, interesting, taking sort of, in some cases, iconic images and putting them into soft goods, others, again, kitschy, and then...
But soft goods, I think, too, and well, this is Root Cellar Designs, but again, I think soft goods are now being seen as art, it's not just an accessory or a pattern in your home. It's about placing a piece of art on your, you know, floor as a rug or on your couch as a pillow.
So it's kind of, yeah, I totally agree. Totally agree. So talk a bit about Root Cellar Designs, because one of the aspects of this whole novelty thing is this mix of nostalgia with novelty.
Yeah, and now what we're seeing is over the past 5 years with, you know, the coming out of digital printing and the availability now for individuals to do this. This is a team, I think it's Tamar, I hope I'm saying it right, Matheson, and her partner, who was from the fashion world, and they've created this line, and they're using antique graphics. So, but what they're doing is manipulating them in a modern way in Photoshop, and then printing them in this really very cool, different color palette that I've never seen before. I mean, they have this moody, so it still kind of looks a little bit antique, but there's an edge to it.
Right. It's kind of like they dyed it, over-dyed it after it was printed, but it's
all digital.
Yeah, it's all digital. Exactly. Yeah. And I think, I mean, these are amazing.
Talking about your novelty. You know, but again, these to me look very modern because of the modern print behind that antique graphic, and they're using, you know, graphics that are available to anybody out there. They're free use. They're out of copyright.
Right. They're just engineering them. And then this was a booth in the pavilions, but again, this wall art, very kind of, you know, somewhat erotic, kind of vintage photographs blown up, again, due to digital printing, kind of, you know, it's going in a, wall art going in a different direction. This was the trend book that they did showing some of the novelty products available.
And is that Kate Spade or the pillow's Kate Spade? But
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
very
I think
interesting.
it's a mix of
It has
everybody.
kind of a, it has definitely a like my grandma's room, but like spray painted or graffiti, you know, I mean,
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
bold colors, but it's very eclectic, but very antique.
And kind of Bloomsbury. And then one of our favorites is showrooms and is Resource Decor. And Resource Decor basically has a collaboration of different designers: Thomas Bina, Lily Kwa, Kelly Hoppen, and this is Andrew Martin, Tracy Boyd, because they do a lot of private label for RH and Anthropologie, etc. in their manufacturers, and then they have this line that's available to dealers and designers. And Andrew Martin, I've been following them since I've been going to Maison 10 and 15 years ago, and they're a UK company. So happy to see that they're really making a splash now in the US market. The guy has got great sensibility. I mean, this was a very traditional sofa with this wonderful, this astronaut kind of with the neon lights. I mean, it was
Yeah, they were
stunning.
amazing. Yeah, amazing. A lot of neon and very appropriate for Vegas.
Yeah.
And just a new twist on so many different things.
Right. And for a very traditional, and I think this was probably their hit at market, because
I think so. Everybody
they have
wanted that.
every letter, and I think, did he say he had some symbols? So there are these
Yes.
like stools, right? And they're metal tops and reclaimed wood, and they were in letters. So as you can see, the love stool. So everybody thought that, and the price point was great. Everyone loved them. So they're Andrew Martin through Resource Decor. Then one of the things that I started seeing this last fall, and it's kind of starting to show up in a lot of different ways, is this sort of like mother of pearl, and pearls are having a moment. This is a tabletop, can't tell you who it is right now. Of course, my name escapes me, but I mean, again, also a move toward away from minimalist looks on tabletop to that little bit more modern Baroque / maximalist. All the encrusting. And then this table, again, with a clear tabletop and then all these shells underneath it, like a vitrine dining.
We saw a lot of shells. We saw at Palachuk. I didn't have time to put the slides in, but Palachuk was doing amazing stuff with coconut husks and coconut shells.
Yeah, so it's
as
like,
art.
Yeah, it's so again, this is a little bit more, this is next gen, if you will, coastal living. No more anchors and sails and, you know, kitschy stuff. I can be sophisticated and still have a beach house.
Mm-hmm.
This was my fave. This is Bliss Studio again. Look at this pillow, encrusted. It was gorgeous. It was a rectangle lumbar. It was beautiful.
And the pillows with these three-dimensional beading effects now seem to be everywhere. And this was gorgeous.
It was really beautiful. And then from a soft goods realm, you know, again, kind of moving into, this slide's, sorry, a little bit out of place, into more masculine looks. Also want to show you guys from a color standpoint, notice that brown is creeping into the palette. So the grays have a brown undertone. The pinks and reds have a browny undertone, you know, to it. It's more, that raisin brown and stuff. So brown's coming back. Lots due to that natural, modern, rustic kind of stuff. Should have been in soft style. So here's some looks that we saw in soft goods. This is, those of you that have no Eastern accents, you know that they introduced a major monogramming and personalization program at High Point. Now they've taken it one step further and they're doing printed. These are hand done. These are not digitally done. So they'd be custom. Some more pillows. I mean, again, talk about that beading, huh, Jackie? Or these funky florals.
A lot of net, using a lot of net, and again, this is super 3D.
Yep. And then, I mean, you got to, I mean, when soft style like Passementerie makes it into wall art, this was Help me out. This is not Left Bank.
It's
Paragon?
hold on. No, hold on. Oh gosh.
Wendover.
Wendover Art Group.
Right.
Sorry,
So
Wendover.
these are watercolor sketches of different
Right.
macrame passementeries and bullions that they're now you can buy as framed art.
Very interesting though.
Yep.
I love that.
Speaking of art of the home, this is Anne Gesh, and some of you might know Anne Gesh. And two things that caught our eye in her showroom from a soft perspective is, first of all, this pillow that's on this bed. So did she tell us they were digitally or screen prints?
I think they're digital prints, but the color and pattern are so rich, and they were a satin. And just absolutely, I'm obsessed now with satin pillows, Deb.
They took on the look of vintage scarves, like vintage Hermes or, you know, souvenir scarves or whatever. And like she said, the color was really rich. It's really nice line. And she's also introduced this new line, Art of the Home, which is basically her value line. So you know, if your customer doesn't have the budget for the typical luxury bedding and top of bed that Anne Gish is doing, now she's affordable. I think that this set, it's a 7-piece set, netted at $195 twin.
And I mean, with Anne Gish, you're getting you know, beautiful gold, gorgeous fabrics at that price point, and the construction is absolutely beautiful.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, you're really not skimping. So for your clients, second bedrooms, whatever, kids, you know, teenagers, it's a great value. And I just wanted to make the point that scarves are super hot right now. Pull out your vintage scarves, frame them, make pillows out of them. We're seeing vintage scarves everywhere. I'm seeing artists being asked to reinterpret paintings based on Hermes scarves. It's really a hot commodity right now.
And just a little teaser, if any of you come with us to High Point Market, you'll get to meet Anne Gesh and see her brand new line that she's introducing for
Global Views. We're very excited about that. And Deb and I are longtime fans of her her work. So,
speaking of Global Views, this is Global Views in soft style. More interesting, you know, again, technique, both in wovens, appliques, embroideries, beading happening on pillows. It's all about surface design right now.
Absolutely. And that center pillow, you can see there that close-up of this one
is like
netted,
crazy.
And they're just basically big, you know, jewel plastic beads, but they're tied in to the fabric, each one of them individually. It's a pretty amazing pillow, and at the price point, I mean, a total bargain. I can't imagine the hours of work that goes into that.
Yeah.
And then they're,
sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say on that palm, the embroidery on that thing is amazing, and really super metallic threads on there. I mean, it really looked metallic.
Yeah, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Mariska.
Mariska Myers is from the Netherlands, I believe, Deb?
Yep.
And she's been on the scene for a while. She just exhibited at High Point last market and was a super immediate hit. Her stuff is so vibrant and unique, and unfortunately lots of people are ripping her off now.
Yeah.
But she's sort of originated a lot of, you know, this look for years. She's been doing the same sort of palette and everything else. But keep an eye on her. Hopefully she'll be exhibiting at High Point again in October.
Right. Hopefully, yeah. And then
you can buy her stuff in the States as well.
Yeah. This is Blush Label. They do some great stuff, both in art.
Really super bright, but two sisters, and you know, just have done this on their own with the help of digital printing and turnkey manufacturing. They've created their own line.
Yep, that's pretty awesome. And so Paul Marotte. So for those of you who don't know, he's textile designer and a couturier, and he actually had some of his fabrics for a long, long time at Brunswick and Fee. I'm assuming because of what's happening that he still owns his archive, or his estate still owns his archives, because Brunswick and Kravet haven't reproduced them.
Well, and I would imagine with the success of who's the guy at Stelamat? I'm forgetting.
Florence Broadhurst.
You know, reviving that collection, you know, so successfully across so many product categories. I mean, his stuff is you know, just right for that.
Right.
Beautiful colors, graphic, gold. Yeah, some of the prints there.
Again, digitally printed. We saw it through Natural Curiosities at ICFF. They were actually at ICFF. It looks like they're getting repped by Curiosities on the West Coast. But again, these two prints are similar to were in Brunswick and Fee's line for many, many years.
And you know, it's interesting that they've chosen to be repped by an art manufacturer. I wonder what that signifies, because Natural Curiosities obviously is a printer.
That's a great point.
And maybe they're going to be segueing into some bespoke lines of fabric and soft goods. I hope, because I love a lot of their work is really unique and different. This is our friend Deborah Main, who is always a great supporter of ours, and she I just wanted to tell everybody that she has launched a website as of 2 days ago, a new website. It's very beautiful. If you're in the market for, you know, her unique, one-of-a-kind pillows, but talking about scarves, she's been making pillows with scarves for quite a while, and they really seem to be, and satins. Satins, I think, are really coming on strong.
Yep, good point. Here's Cotton and Quill.
And this gal, and I'm forgetting her name now, I'm so sorry, but she's an artist, started exhibiting with Taylor Burke, and she's really expanded her collection now and has some really awesome sort of funky chinoiserie prints, and she is branching out into some more contemporary looking stuff, but really, really well done.
Right, absolutely. So then go for the green. Green is definitely, as we've been telling you guys for 6 months to a year, that it's gone. The chartreuse greens are still out there, but it's really about that rich, intense, you know, park green, shamrock green, you know, grass green mixed with, you know, deep blues, capri blues, golds and yellows, particularly the citron golds. And we saw it in lots of different product categories, from, you know, pillows to rugs, as you can see back here, the rug on the floor. This is Global Views. The sofa is green velvet from Resource Decor, right?
Yeah.
And by the way, notice the black and white with it that we talked about earlier. So lots of greens. And then this whole sort of like Southwest thing that we've also been talking about is starting to take off now. This is Jaipur Rug, and this is their idea of these classic tribal, more Southwest feeling, Indian, South American feeling versus Moroccan moving into the marketplace when it comes to rug. And again, because of that, what's happening is clay, cinnamons, that blue, you know, it works really well with it, opposite because color palettes, but look for rusty, corally, cinnamon colors to also take plant. And I mean, just to show you a couple of pieces that we spotted, so, you know, obviously the little, you know, there's the obligatory antlers and the stumps and all that kind of stuff, and twigs. Here's this sort of Tiffany kind of arts and crafts actually feel to a lamp. And then there was this bar stool, and it's like really interesting because it was like all pieced and held together. It was just it was definitely custom, a little bit more edgier and sophisticated, I guess you'd say, than your typical bar stool for Southwest.
Well, I think it's, all that lodge living is
Mm-hmm.
very big on the West Coast, and, these are artisan looking pieces. That one really was made amazingly. It was
Mm-hmm.
stitched together. It's the different pieces of
I'm sure there's
wood.
some meaning
Um,
to it too that we just didn't know because we didn't.
oh, I'm sure. I mean, but it looks like a mountain man crafted it, out of bits and pieces that he found outside of his lodge,
Yeah, exactly.
and strapped them together. Um,
And
but
wrapped him
I
up.
think that lodge style and you know, really sort of that getting back to Mother Earth style are really having a resurgence. We're seeing that with Justina Blakeney, her
Mm-hmm.
Sela mat, and all of her rattan and stuff. But it's sort of that Earth Mother thing. And I wonder if it has anything to do with there's so many TV shows on now about homesteading and living out in the, have you seen any of these,
Oh yeah,
living out in
trust
the
me.
wilds of Alaska and getting back to
Duck
nature? And,
Dynasty, right? Which isn't
well,
quite living in
exactly.
the
And this
wilds,
is a
but
more
it's that whole.
sophisticated,
It's
yeah, this is a
yeah.
more sophisticated dynasty. Their furniture was just horrific. But no, I think we're going to see this on the rise.
Yeah, kind of interesting. And then this piece, it was an interesting piece. This is Studio A, and I thought Studio A had better introductions. Actually, that's a sister company of Global Views. I liked their look. They've changed their look up a bit, but this was a desk, so this piece fell down. This had a leather top to it, and so it was like a secretary, but it's kind of mid-century modern, kind of had this sort of like Western, if you will, feel to it. It was an interesting piece, and I love the little cubby that a little lamp can fit into. It was really well done, and it was really well priced.
Yeah, their whole offering has really, like you said, it's changed up from sort of that Asian influence to a more kind of maybe sort of tribal or I don't even know what you would call it,
Yeah.
but it's different and just some beautiful things there.
And they're kind of playing to, as some of these pieces are, to the whole idea of the way that, manufacturers are really realizing that men is a market. Men are much more involved in design and in the decision-making process than they have been. And so there's a masculinity to a lot of things happening. Again, this is Global View, or excuse me, Studio A, but I just love their look, and I love the fact that they took all these bird cages and then they stacked them up and then put the art in front of them. I mean, so it was sort of like, interesting pieces and collections and things. It felt really good.
I think that's a really good point about the feminine and masculine. And Global Views and Studio A, because they're right next to each other, you're in Global Views, and it is very feminine and bright and colorful. And then you walk in here, and it's this sort of soothing, um, Mad Men Gone to
Hmm.
Asia feel. Very, very
Right.
sophisticated.
It's like the gold mirror, right? So like if you said to him, oh,
Right.
let's do a gold mirror there, he probably isn't thinking that gold mirror, but he gets a gold carved mirror, but it's the scale and the size of the frame that make it work. And or like
Right.
this horse piece here, it's like, oh, you need a horse statue. Well, we don't need who's the guy who does all the horse statues? Remington. This is,
Remington.
yeah, that your typical what you think like in your office or den. It's a different twist and a take. So I think they did a really nice job with this whole sort of masculine thing that's happening in design. Even these pieces, right?
Right.
These we're looking at, barware and sculpture and even a crystal lamp, but it just has a different feel to it. Um, oh, Paul Moreau again. Again, we loved it. That was one of our fun finds, right?
Oh, yeah. And go ahead.
Also, if for those of you who know, we're huge fans of Kelly O'Neill and Design Legacy. And so speaking of digital prints, Kelly has introduced his an own collection of digitally printed fabrics. These are the pieces, and it's cut yardage, or you can have it either upholstered or ready-made drapery panels or decorative pillows and cushions. And we love the way he sampled it, number one, right?
Yes. His samples, if you want cuttings, they come not to scale. It shows the full, pattern, and then gives you what the repeat is. So,
Right.
you need to be a little bit knowledgeable there. But so many times when you have patterns like this that are a huge scale, and you get a clipping, you get one black patch, and it's really, like one of these things where it's one spot and you realize, oh, okay, how am I going to show that to my client? So
Right.
with digital printing, he can reduce the file size and have you see the whole thing in one shot, which was
Right.
nice.
So it's like it was like a 10-inch square on his fabric, but you got to see like run of the bolt, or
Yeah,
run of the cloth.
they're sitting here right on my desk.
Me too. And then so he's doing it in canvas, in linen, cotton. I don't think there was a poly. And his price points, by the way, were really great. What were they? $23.50 or something net?
I didn't even look.
I think they're really. I mean, for custom prints, and by the way, you can color them any way you want. I'm sure there's an upcharge for that. But anyway, somebody to look at. And we would be remiss if we didn't mention, not more than mention, the launch of Jackie's rug collection for Faisy. These are the 2 rugs, and she was the hit. She was definitely the hit. So talk a little bit about them, Jack.
So kind. This was just a really, really fun experience for me to work with Faisy and 3 other designers that were featured in what they're calling the Haute Trends collection: Julie Buckingham, Carrie Kelly, and Michelle Boyd. And just really fun. Got to learn a lot about rug construction and what it takes, again, to bring a product to market. It's not an easy process, and so every product that we see that comes down the pipeline, it's a year or longer in design and production before it ever hits the market shelves. So this was fun. I submitted about 20 designs, and these were the 2 that they finally chose. And so it was really an exciting moment for me. And so I hope you all like them. But they're from Faisy Rugs, and I don't have any pricing yet. They'll be available to ship in November. And hopefully, I'm crossing my fingers that I'll be able to do more designs for them.
You will. They were really well received. They're awesome. And just because again, I have the whole floral thing, but I just thought these were really interesting as wall art. Again, this whole sort of sculptural thing happening in wall art. I just loved them. All right, so on to Dallas, which is really much more of a gift market, though, in this lighting piece. This is an Aviva standoff from Curry Company, if I'm not mistaken. And the branch chandelier, right?
Yes.
So just briefly, you're going to see some common threads here. Cinnamon was definitely trending again because of the naturals in the whole idea of males, masculine products, lots more leather being used, hair on hide. In the gift market, flasks came in. Look at, again, this is Coderas, but it's this whole sort of brown and natural story, right? Lots of personalization happening, monograms, embroidery, write-ons, slate containers, you name it. The personal touch or personalization, which we've been talking about again for 6 months, is a huge, huge trend. So keep that in mind. Again, if you're selling to your clients, how can you capitalize on that? Their version of Americana/Western, not for everybody. Love the gun on the gun holder.
I'm sure.
Or
the gun rack, you gotta have a gun rack.
But I guess what I was going to say is like Vegas, Dallas and Atlanta allow you, no matter what your client style is, you can find it from contemporary abstract to Americana.
Exactly.
Here, this is Portico Linens. This is a new, I think they launched like 10 or 12 new piece collections at Dallas Market. Again, sort of that watercolor washed version, different coloring, but bluebell gray that's so popular. And then one of the major sort of overriding trends is that there are a lot of companies that are extending their brand by becoming what they're calling lifestyle companies now. So, I mean, Jaipur just branded from a rug company to a lifestyle company. And guess who else did? Hallmark Cards is now doing a soft home line. So taking all their images and imagery
you can
and their
send your
aesthetic.
sentiments on a pillow rather than a card.
Kind of crazy, right?
For Grandma's birthday. Send her
Yeah.
that cozy up pillow.
Lots of blues and yellows from in every category. Coastal still predominant, but again, if you want novelty, now we're doing boats and mermaids and sea glass. If you want to do sophisticated, you know, or to this wonderful cookie jar and salt and pepper set called Catch of the Day, which is basically a buoy. So there, again, lots of novelty products, but based on that coastal theme. In Atlanta,
and who was it? One of the I can't remember what one of the magazines came out with a whole feature. It wasn't Coastal Living, should have been, talking about how coastal really isn't a geographic category anymore.
right.
People love to be surrounded by the sea, the colors of the sea, everything that goes along with it, and so that is working its way into mainstream. You know, design as more or less an overall overriding style rather than, you know, at your beach house or depending on what your geography is.
There you go.
Because of their patterns are becoming more sophisticated. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good point.
Coastal there in Chicago.
I don't know.
Well, you can. You've got the Lake Michigan. What are you talking about?
I can in Chicago. I said Omaha.
Okay. Sorry.
No. But Atlanta, you know, typically known again as a gift in home decor, soft homing, but really a rug market. So you have to talk rugs and some of the things that are happening in rugs. So Surya has entered into a collaboration with Dwell, and they're kind of doing those Moroccan shags, but adding, you know, hand-knotted colors and hand-painted colors. There's still these deconstructed looks in high-low piles by several manufacturers. This is Oriental Weaver's new Cali collection, which is sort of these bright abstracts, which are really kind of were takeoffs on what's happening in that category, but in wall art. You know, that sort of, you know, Kelly O'Neill kind of abstract painting kind of thing. And then Nurasan did some beautiful, beautiful rugs inspired by the earth. They really were gorgeous.
Yeah, they continue to sort of be the color, you know, really high-end construction.
Yeah, and technique, right, was really awesome.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, really great. Outdoor again, but, you know, so it's all about, you know, really more because it's, you know, okay, you don't just have a porch, but you got to have outdoor draperies, you got to have different sizes, you have to have more pattern, you have to have more opportunities, meaning more product categories. So who would have thought? This is SureFit. SureFit, if you don't know, is what probably the benchmark slipcover company. Now they're making slip covers for your outdoor patio furniture or that plastic resin chair you bought at Target for $29.99 or whatever. Pattern and drapery and curtain and draperies. Again, look at what's happening here in this sort of steamer chair, but cushy comforter. You know, there's storage in this ottoman. So lots happening.
And I mean, that looks like a cruise ship deck chair, you know. And the thing about these slip covers is what a great way for you guys if you're, you know, selling fabric and working with people to do one of these little wraps. It's basically just a simple wrap with Velcro.
Yeah.
And that's a profit maker right there.
Yep.
And, you know, your cushions in Vegas, your cushions only last a couple years anyway. And then you end up having to reupholster them.
Right.
And so this is a great way for, I think, SureFit to kind of reinvent itself.
Yeah, I think it was an awesome opportunity. It's kind of like those moments where you go, why didn't I think of that?
Exactly.
And then Eve Delamore, so what was kind of happening in this whole sort of high-end, this happens to be Eve Delamore, is that they were sort of, all the different brands, you know, in the fine linen category and top of bed are kind of doing this sort of balance between, this dance between masculine and feminine. So soft florals are taking a more bohemian, Bradbury, vintage look like you saw in Root Cellar Creek. Again, notice what's happening with the coloring. You're starting to see tinted backgrounds in top of bed mixed with darker colors because, you know, again, if you're, you know, married, it's like, oh, I've got to sleep on flowered sheets. Well, maybe I can stomach it a bit better if I've got burgundy pillowcases. Kind of thing.
That's a strategy. That is the sales strategy if I've ever heard one.
Well,
I love it.
but isn't it true? Isn't there, you know, I mean,
Very
I bet
true.
the customer, I'm sure that they did their due diligence on research and the consumer was telling them, you know, I'd love your sheets, but there's no way my husband's sleeping on, you know, lace and damask or florals or whatever.
Right.
This is, like, on the right is Legacy Home. This is their China Club collection. Again, their take on fretwork. And if you don't know Legacy Home, they do linens and cottons. They do complete top of bed. They do sheets. They do upholstered headboards. They do, you can choose your bandings, choose your embroidery, choose your colored threads. It's a great line to have. And then on the left, the reason I put this in, this is from Downtown Incorporated. This is actually called the Chateau Collection, and it's silk. But what's great about it, it's from Germany. It's 100% washable silk. And the reason I'm showing it is I'm thinking that silk is making an entree back into the marketplace. I've spotted it in a couple of different places, most notably West Elm is introducing a washable silk collection in their fall catalog. And it was introduced in a big way by about no less than 6 manufacturers in Atlanta. So maybe for those of us certainly selling bedding, silk's going to become important. Technology is now allowing us to wash it and have some of the characteristics that we like. But let's see where it takes us when we start talking silk taffeta and dupiones and drapery.
Well, and I think, don't you think too that you know, gloss in fabric is coming back? So not necessarily chintz, but sheen.
Absolutely.
Is starting to push through, and I think that's an answer to that.
Yeah. Yeah, because your obsession right now is like loving that whole satiny sheen thing.
Well, and you know, I think what happens as we as designers see this happen is you get so set in what style is dominating. So it's been matte, matte, matte finishes.
Yeah.
For a long time, and so then you see something that's shiny, and you're just like, you know, you think you found a little diamond out there because it's the sheen. You've forgotten how important that is.
Right. Yeah.
And we've completely neglected that in fabrics for years now.
Yeah.
So
this is House of Baltic, but I wanted to put this in because the other thing that's happening is that high-end linen sheeting and top of bed is another trend, okay? And if you again, Jackie and I have, I guess, kind of harped on this, but we believe that if you're selling soft furnishings, you should be in the sheet business and the sheeting business. And companies like House of Baltic are going to give you this kind of look. This is right up your hipster client alley, right? Or, I mean, and what I've been told is that once you sleep on linen sheets, you will never go back.
That's Pandora.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, again, explore that category. Some of it, I mean, again, you're going to get that vintage rumpled look. You can't help that with linen, but there are certain qualities of linen that you can't get in your cotton and poly blend percales. So, and I mean, again, if Pottery Barn Bed and Bath is selling linen sheets for $100 for a flat, why aren't you in that marketplace?
Exactly.
This is Serena and Lily Tabletop. They also did a nice introduction at Atlanta, also kind of kind of anticlimactic there. Probably could have removed that. But then, last but not least, Jackie and I want to talk a bit about, before we let you go, our High Point Market VIP experience tour.
And I have to say, I mean, you know, Deb and I really had no idea when we, you know, first did our first one at High Point and then Vegas. But, you know, our tour has really turned into a spectacular event. We have just the greatest people that have been on our tours. We've made great lifelong friends. It is such a, it's like a mini business boot camp incubator, really. I mean, all of the people that are on the tour sit around, they talk about their businesses. I mean, we've heard nothing but how people grow, get new ideas, are re-inspired, reinvigorated in design. And so we're just so happy to be able to continue to bring it to you guys if you do want to participate. What are the details on this trip, Deb?
So it is Friday, October 21st to Wednesday, October 26th. It's 6 days, 5 nights. The package includes all your accommodations, most of your meals. We like to eat and drink our way through High Point. There's a welcome dinner at the exclusive members-only String and Splinter Club, hosted by Jackie and I and the High Point CVB. We have a farewell dinner at the Printworks Bistro, one of the top shelf restaurants in Greensboro, the final night. You can get all the details on softdesignlab.com and just click on the tours button at the top nav and click on High Point Market. Really, you're going to have insider access. You're going to get to meet celebrity designers that up close and personal, because they're walking us through their product launches. We have private luncheons, private receptions. There's just it's amazing what we I think that what we put together for you. We're really excited. We've got some new things happening this market and we try to cover, you know, the best of market. And as Jackie said, not only, I think the silver lining that you can't put a price tag on is the amount of coaching and mentoring that you get between each other and collaboration. And then another aspect of that is that we take all the pain points out of it for you. So we're your concierge, obviously, pre-market and during market, but we do a pre-trip webinar to get you all set up to navigate. We have individual consultations with you guys. What is it you want to get out of market, to make sure that we can make appointments for you individually for people that you need to see. So because it is a business trip. So we hope to have you join us. As I said, visit the web tour page, our website at softdesignlab.com, down there in the lower right-hand corner, and click on tours.